Well, in a surprise move by Rockstar, one of these rare occasions where they actually do something worth praising, there is now 60 FPS on the PS5 version of Red Dead Redemption as well as Undead Nightmare. This is Red Dead Redemption Title Update 1.03 for the PS5. Hopefully, eventually, they'll do this for the Xbox Series X and maybe S as well. They have added an option to enable 60 FPS when played on PS5 via backwards compatibility. Added an option to enable subtitles upon first booting the game. General bug fixes and improvements. So this is awesome news. Definitely a con that I had in my review for both Red Dead Redemption Reboot or Port as well as Undead Nightmare for the PS5, Xbox Series X. Now, the reason why we don't have a upgrade available for Red Dead Redemption on Xbox is because that's the original version of Red Dead Redemption, because it's backwards compatible from the 360 to the Xbox One into the Xbox Series. But hopefully, Rockstar will do something similar for that version of Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare. But this is the version of the game that they are selling right now, the PS4, PS5 version. Nintendo Switch, I don't know if we're going to get a 60 FPS version of Switch. I think some people were able to make it run up to 60 FPS, but that was some jailbreak stuff, some modding that was done on Switch that Nintendo most likely would not approve of. Anyways, we're going to see what Red Dead Redemption Port on PS5 looks like at 60 FPS, and we do have the option to turn these subtitles on. I will leave them off because I already did playthroughs of both Red Dead Redemption 1 as well as Undead Nightmare via PS5. This video is simply just to let you know about this update for the PS5 version of Red Dead Redemption 1 Undead Nightmare and to show off what the game looks like in 60 FPS. Alright, so we are riding around the Great Plains in Red Dead Redemption 1 on PS5 with the 60 FPS upgrade, and we're just going to see what it's like. Hopefully it's better than 30 FPS, and it would be interesting to see Digital Foundry revisit the PS5 port now that there is a 60 FPS upgrade for Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare, and see how smooth it is from their point of view. So just to make sure, let us go to settings and make sure, well, go to options and make sure that we're at 60 FPS. Okay, so in display, if you look at frame rate, it says 60 FPS. So just to make absolute certainty that we are playing the game at 60 FPS, not 30 FPS, in order to get an idea of what this game can be like on 60 FPS on the PS5. I am noticing a lot of pop-in issues with the game, so I honestly don't know if it's necessarily running smoother. I mean, maybe it is, but it just feels, it feels very, very poppy. Alright, gotta cross the river. But we'll ride around for a minute or two. There's definitely some pop in. I'm noticing it. So, I wonder exactly what Rockstar did to enable the game to run at 60 FPS on PS5. And this also ties into Red Dead Redemption 2, which is the newer game. It came out nearly 5 years ago, October 2018. And it still is at 30 FPS, even though it should theoretically run at 60 FPS on PS5 and Xbox Series. So we did talk about that a week or so ago, how there was rumors of potential leaked information in regards to a 60 FPS update or a next-gen, well, current-gen version of Red Dead Redemption 2, which would hopefully run at 60 FPS. But, I mean, so far it seems okay at 60 FPS, except for some pop-ins I've noticed. Whether or not it's better or worse than 30 FPS, especially with a game like this, remains to be seen. But I'm just going to ride around for a few more minutes and just see if anything else happens. I did notice a bit of issue. But I guess that's to be expected. I mean, I hope that this game is doing better. Okay, there's a mission we can do. Just to, I guess, do a mission. Do a little side quest action. See how this goes. Alright. Let's talk to this guy.
Excuse me, friend.
Alright, I don't care for the cutscene. Alright. Alright, so let's go out to the Pleasance house and do this mission. I am kind of tempted to switch back and forth between 60 and 30 just to see if I notice a difference. So I think what we'll do right now is I'm going to switch it back to 30 FPS and options. And alright, let's look and see if anyone else notices any difference. Okay, so I switched it down to 30 FPS. So we'll keep it at 30 FPS for a moment. And I'm hoping that with, you know, Elgato, OBS, everybody notices a difference. It does kind of hurt a little bit bringing it down to 30. I mean, there's still obviously pop-ins happening with Armadillo. So it's unfortunate that that occurs, especially on a current-gen console like a PS5. It should be a little smoother. But I think that once you bump it up to 60 FPS, it's very similar to GTA 5 and Online on PS5, Xbox Series, the Milked Edition. Once you bump it up to 60 FPS, it's very painful to go back down. So let's go ahead and put it back up to 60 FPS. Okay, so I think that's definitely better. Even though it's not perfect. I feel like it's a little bit better. But I'm interested in any of y'all's opinion that also have the PS5 version of Red Dead Redemption 1 Undead Nightmare. And tell me what you honestly think about this 60 FPS upgrade, now available exclusively for PS5 for Red Dead Redemption 1 Undead Nightmare. I hope that Rockstar does come out with a 60 FPS upgrade for Xbox Series S and X, even though that is the original version of Red Dead Redemption, as we talked about a moment ago. All the way back from the 360, backwards compatible to Xbox One and Xbox Series, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, some people, I think somebody made a video about how this is Hosea. Obviously, it's not Hosea, but I did see that video pop up like a week or so ago. I'm like, no, Hosea sadly died in Red Dead Redemption 2 and Saint Denis, but okay, clickbaiters, whatever. So, my overall thoughts for just first impressions of 60 FPS on the PS5 version of Red Dead Redemption 1. I think it's definitely better than playing it on 30 FPS, especially once you switch it from 30 to 60, and then you try to go back to 30. There's just something about it that hurts the eyes. It's hard to explain. It's the same thing with GTA 5 on Xbox Series X and PS5. But I believe that the port that Double 11 used for Red Dead Redemption 1 for PlayStation 4, PS5, as well as the Switch, is actually the 360, not the PS3. If that's the case, if that's what they used for the port, the template of the port, the foundation, then theoretically they could come out with a 60 FPS patch for the Xbox Series S and especially X versions of Red Dead Redemption as well as Undead Nightmare. The problem is, well, Rockstar hasn't sold that version of Red Dead Redemption in a long time, you know, for over a decade. And the one they want to sell you is this port version. So that's the conundrum at the moment. So here's what I think could happen. Either A, Rockstar could do the PR thing, which they're not exactly known to do, and have a 60 FPS upgrade put out for Xbox Series S and X, which would be for Red Dead Redemption 1, Undead Nightmare. I guess it would also work for the multiplayer. I know that Rockstar doesn't really like the fact that players are still able to hop on multiplayer for Xbox consoles, but it is what it is. Just like with GTA 4 multiplayer on Xbox consoles. But I don't know if they would include a 60 FPS upgrade for all three, right? Red Dead Redemption 1, multiplayer, and Undead Nightmare for the Series S and X. But maybe at the very least for Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare. But what I think is more realistic is that Rockstar eventually comes out with a Xbox Series XS version of Red Dead Redemption 1, Undead Nightmare, that does not include Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. And that version would have the 60 FPS upgrade for the low price of $50 US. Now, does this upgrade make the game worth a bit more than a lot of us thought? Because we felt like the price tag was a bit too high, especially without Red Dead Redemption multiplayer included. I would add $5. Instead of saying like $20, I'll be generous, Rockstar, and I'll say $25. Extra $5 for the 60 FPS upgrade. But still, not really worth the asking price. Oh, damn it. Button mashing. I don't know why I'm button mashing so hard right now. I guess I'm trying to experience the full abilities and capacities of 60 FPS, right? Because, you know, this is my first time ever playing this game on 60 FPS. So I've never played Red Dead Redemption 1 on 60 FPS until today. So this is an historical event for me. But for the most part, it seems okay. I don't think it's perfect. I think that there could be maybe eventually another patch to address some temporary low-res pop-in issues I have noticed while playing this updated version of Red Dead Redemption 1. But I do notice an improvement when it comes to, I guess, how 60F is compared to 30. And hopefully I'll notice it as well. But once again, if we combine, I guess, the overall price tag of Red Dead Redemption 1, Undead Nightmare, plus the 60 FPS upgrade for PS5, yeah, it's worth a bit more in value. Still lacking Red Dead Redemption multiplayer, but I don't think Rockstar is going to ever add multiplayer to the PS4, PS5, Switch versions of this port. But it's nice that they did this. I don't think it was Rockstar. I think it might have been Double 11 that did the 60 FPS update. And it'll be interesting to see if they are actually able to do it on Switch. I doubt it, even though we did talk about how some people have been able to, mod it or jailbreak it on the Switch. But I don't think Nintendo really approves of that. And who knows what kind of toll that would take on the Nintendo. Like, the Switch basically isn't really capable of it, I don't think. So I have a Switch, but I don't have that version of Red Dead Redemption on my Switch because I already bought it for the PS5, and I don't know how well it would run at 60 FPS on Switch. It seems to run fine at 30 FPS from what I've seen, but there's also a concern that maybe 60 FPS might be too much for the Switch to handle. It might take a toll on the poor Switch. And by the way, that rumor that was circulating that I covered in a YouTube short regarding a cloud version of Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to Switch turned out to be not true. It was just a mistake made by the Brazilian government. They meant to say Red Dead Redemption, not Red Dead Redemption 2 for the Switch, and I have yet to clear that up until now, so I do apologize for that. Wasn't trying to clickbait, and I even addressed it as a rumor that had yet to be confirmed. But I wouldn't be surprised if the successor to the Switch console is capable of running Red Dead Redemption 2, because its hardware might be up to the level of Xbox One and PS4, whether it's a Switch 2, Switch Pro, or whatever it ends up being. Oh, there's a rattlesnake nearby. Well, I better call Rattlesnake Solutions. Oh! God damn it. Well, I'm not calling Rattlesnake Solutions because I'm going to kill you. I was too close. Damn it, I was hoping Rattlesnake Solutions would make a cameo in this video and show up with a bucket and, you know, haul it off. I mean, technically it's in its natural habitat already, so I don't know where they would relocate the rattlesnake to. But anyways, 60 FPS for Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare, now available on the PS5. Whether or not we actually get a 60 FPS upgrade for the original version of Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare for Xbox Series S and X remains to be seen, but I would like for there to be a free upgrade. I just highly doubt it, knowing Rockstar and Take-Two. But it wouldn't surprise me if sooner rather than later we get a Xbox Series S and X port of Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare without Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. And maybe even a PC version of Red Dead Redemption 1 Undead Nightmare with that 60 FPS upgrade. Finally, instead of players having to, you know, emulate it. Though I hear the emulation is really good. We've talked about that before. But I'm sure a lot of PC players would be content buying a legitimate copy of Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare. So that is a very real possibility somewhere down the road with this 60 FPS upgrade. So overall, yeah, I think this is definitely a positive. And even though I did notice some pop-ins here and there, some low res, it's definitely a bit smoother than 30 FPS on the PS5. I just hope that we see at least one more quality of life improvement for the PS5 version of Red Dead Redemption 1 regarding 60 FPS, making the pop-ins a lot less noticeable along with the low-res stuff. But other than that, I definitely consider this to be a W for Double 11 and Rockstar. Thank you for giving PS5 Red Dead Redemption players 60 FPS. It would be nice if we also had 60 FPS for Red Dead Redemption 2 on current gen consoles. See, did y'all see that? I hope y'all saw that. That low-res pop-in with Armadillo, it was very noticeable. That's what I'm talking about, is that needs to be smoothed out a little bit better, especially when it comes to this 60 FPS upgrade, along with the pop-ins that some of us have noticed as well. So, yeah, I hope that we also eventually get a 60 FPS upgrade for Red Dead Redemption 2. That would be awesome. But it may be a similar situation where instead of a free upgrade exclusively for players that backwards compatible it on the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, they just might come out with like a current gen version of Red Dead Redemption 2 just for the 60 FPS upgrade for RDR2. But we'll just have to wait and see. Your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding the 60 FPS upgrade for Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare on PS5, welcome, as always, below in the comments section.